Get ready to crank up the nostalgia and turn up the volume because we're diving into the ultimate rock and roll glow-up. From leather-clad legends of the 70s to today's silver-haired icons, we're comparing the wild first album days to their latest looks. Some age like fine wine, others like a backstage couch, but all of them still rock. Ready to see how your favorite rock stars have evolved? Let's plug in and rewind. Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger in the 60s was a skinny rebel in tight pants, shaking up the world with swagger and snarl. Now, he's still strutting, still spinning, and somehow hasn't lost an ounce of energy. The hair's grayer, the face more lined, but the vibe? Pure Rolling Stones. Age can't catch a man who dances like time doesn't exist. Ozzy Osbourne. Once upon a bat bite, the world met the wildest man in metal. Ozzy Osbourne was pure chaos, howling at the moon, stumbling through solos, and somehow surviving it all. Fast forward to today, and he's a bedazzled goth grandpa with a cane and a cackle. He might wobble more than a whale, but Ozzy still rocks like the Crips got Wi-Fi. From wild rebels to seasoned legends, watch these 5 rock stars transform before your eyes. Steven Tyler. Feathers, scarves, and falsettos. Steven Tyler was the ultimate rock peacock, shrieking his way through the 70s in skin-tight pants and sky-high cheekbones. These days, he's still a walking kaleidoscope of glitter, fringe, and fabulous chaos. Sure, he's got a few more wrinkles, but the swagger? Untouched. Steven didn't age. He just turned into a psychedelic rock shaman with better jewelry. Debbie Harry. Blondie's Debbie Harry burst onto the scene like a punk rock lightning bolt, with blonde hair, a fierce attitude, and a voice that could cut through steel. Back then, she was the ultimate rebel queen, blending punk edge with pop sparkle. Today, she's still shining bright with timeless cool and undeniable charisma, proving that some rock stars don't just age, they become legends. Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons exploded onto the scene with fire, blood, and that iconic long tongue, turning Kiss into a theatrical rock monster that no one could ignore. Back then, he was the ultimate demon on stage, spitting fire and rocking makeup like a warrior from another planet. Now, he's still rocking the tongue, maybe a little less fire, but with the swagger of a rock legend who knows exactly how to own the spotlight. Joan Jett. Joan Jett kicked down the door of rock and roll like a punk-powered tornado with a leather jacket, fierce sneer, and a guitar that screamed louder than a fire alarm. She was the ultimate rebel with a cause. Rock hard, play harder. Now, she's still got that badass vibe, just with a few more been there, smash that stories, and an even cooler leather jacket. Joan's proof that rock never goes out of style. Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop burst onto the scene shirtless and wild, with energy that couldn't be tamed. He danced like no one was watching, wrinkles and all, and made chaos look cool. Today, he's still that raw, fearless rock rebel, proving you don't need a shirt to own the stage or be unforgettable. David Lee Roth. David Lee Roth didn't just walk onto the rock stage, he catapulted in with a grin wide enough to swallow the spotlight. With his wild blonde hair, flashy outfits, and acrobatic moves, he was the ultimate showman of Van Halen's heyday. Decades later, Roth's still got that same electric energy, mixing rock star swagger with a dash of cheeky charm. He proves that some legends never lose their shine, they just get bolder. Do you remember these 6 icons? Take a look at what they look like now. Axl Rose. Axl Rose stormed the rock world with a voice as fierce as his attitude. Bandana, tight jeans, and a glare that could melt faces. Back then, he was the wild frontman tearing through arenas with Guns N' Roses. Today, he's still got that fiery spirit, just with a bit more wisdom and a few more hats. Axl's proof that rock and roll passion doesn't fade, it just evolves. Slash. Slash blasted into rock history with a top hat, wild curls, and a guitar that screamed louder than thunder. The Guns N' Roses lead guitarist shredded iconic riffs that became the soundtrack of a generation. Today, Slash still wields his guitar like a lightning bolt, rocking a mix of classic swagger and rock legend status. With every solo, he proves some legends don't just play music, they set the world on fire. Billy Idol. Billy Idol burst onto the scene like a punk rock hurricane with a leather jacket, sneer, and a swagger that dared the world to keep up. With his sneaky grin and electrifying moves, he owned the 80s with hits that still make you want to jump around. Today, Billy's still rocking that rebellious spirit, mixing cool confidence with a touch of rock and roll mischief, proving some legends just refuse to fade away. Courtney Love. Courtney Love crashed into the rock world like a beautiful storm with wild hair, a fierce attitude, and a voice that could cut through the chaos. As the fearless frontwoman of Hole, she flipped the script with raw emotion and unapologetic grit. Now she's still that fiery force, mixing punk spirit with a dash of rock royalty. Courtney proves that even though the noise, true power, and passion always steal the spotlight. Lars Ulrich. Lars Ulrich burst onto the metal scene, pounding drums like a man possessed, driving Metallica's thunderous sound with unstoppable energy and fierce determination. From garage jams to sold-out arenas, Lars became the heartbeat of a generation's soundtrack. Today, he still commands the kit with precision and power, proving that true rock legends don't just keep the beat, they define it, making sure the metal never stops roaring loud and proud. James Hetfield. James Hetfield exploded onto the scene with a razor-sharp voice and riffs that hit like a freight train, forging Metallica's fierce, unbreakable sound. His raw power and relentless drive made him the ultimate metal frontman, equal parts warrior and poet. Today, Hetfield's still dominating stages worldwide prove that true rock gods don't just survive decades, they evolve, ignite, and set the world on fire with every unforgettable chord. Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl burst out of the grunge era like a rock and roll superhero, drummer turned frontman, with a grin as wide as his guitar riffs are loud. From smashing skins with Nirvana to commanding stadiums with Foo Fighters, he's the ultimate musical chameleon. Still rocking with boundless energy and that infectious smile, Dave proves you can be a legend, a prankster, and a powerhouse all at once and never lose your groove. Get ready to be amazed by these jaw-dropping rock star makeovers. Hit that subscribe button for more music secrets you never saw coming. Patti Smith. Patti Smith stormed the music scene like a poetic whirlwind, blending punk attitude with raw, electrifying energy that shook the very soul of rock and roll. With her fierce voice and rebellious spirit, she became the godmother of punk, challenging norms and inspiring generations. Patti's not just a singer, she's a storyteller, a revolutionary, and a living legend. Decades later, she still commands the stage with the same fiery passion, proving that true rock icons don't just make music, they change the world, one powerful lyric at a time. Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen rolled onto the scene with a heartland roar and a working-class grit that spoke to millions. The boss wasn't just making music, he was telling America's stories through anthems full of hope, struggle, and soul. With his signature leather jacket and harmonica in hand, Bruce became the voice of a generation. Today, he still lights up stages with that same raw passion, proving legends don't fade. They keep shining brighter, telling stories that never go out of style. John Bon Jovi. John Bon Jovi jumped into the rock world with big hair, a bigger smile, and songs that made everyone want to sing along. He was the king of the 80s with hits like Livin' on a Prayer that still get the crowd jumping. Even now, John's still rocking out, writing catchy tunes and playing shows that bring people together. He shows that with a little heart and a lot of fun, you can keep the party going no matter how many years pass. Rock on, John. Anthony Kiedis. Anthony Kiedis exploded onto the rock scene with smooth moves, poetic lyrics, and a voice that rides funky beats like no other. As the frontman of Red Hot Chili Peppers, he mixed rock, rap, and soul into something totally unique. Today, Anthony's still rocking stages worldwide, proving that real style and energy never fade. They just get hotter with time. Leather, tattoos, and tons of attitude, then and now. Who wore it better amongst these 7 icons? Flea! Flea burst onto the scene with wild energy, funky bass lines, and a personality as electric as his music. As the Red Hot Chili Peppers' heartbeat, he made bass cool and crazy all at once. Today, Flea's still jumping, grooving, and proving that age can't slow down a rock legend who plays with heart and soul, fun, fierceness, and unforgettable energy. Liam Gallagher. Liam Gallagher stormed onto the music scene with a swagger that could fill stadiums, swagger, sneer, and a voice that cut through the noise like a razor. As Oasis's fiery frontman, he owned the 90s with attitude and anthem-worthy tunes that still get fans singing at the top of their lungs. Today, Liam's still rocking that fierce spirit, mixing cheeky charm with raw power. No matter the years, he proves some rock stars don't just survive, they dominate loud and proud every single time. Robert Plant. Robert Plant burst onto the rock scene with golden curls, a wail that could shatter glass, and the swagger of a true rock god. As Led Zeppelin's legendary frontman, he defined an era with his powerful voice and magnetic presence. Today, Plant still commands the stage with timeless style and soulful energy, proving that some voices only get stronger with age, and that true rock royalty never fades. It only evolves. Flashback to their wild debut, and fast forward to today's rock royalty, you will be amazed. Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley strutted onto the stage, looking like a glittery space alien, ready to rock your socks off, complete with starry face paint and enough sparkle to blind the crowd. As the star child of Kiss, he made every show a flashy, fun explosion of makeup and mayhem. Now he's still rocking the glitter, maybe with a bit more wrinkle, proving you can never have too much sparkle, especially when you're a rock god who never quits shining. Trent Reznor. Trent Reznor exploded onto the music scene with industrial grit, dark beats, and a brooding intensity that felt like a punch to the soul. As the mastermind behind 9 Inch Nails, he redefined what rock could be: raw, haunting, and unforgettable. Today, Reznor's still innovating, blending eerie soundscapes with sharp emotion, proving that true artistry isn't just heard, it's felt deep down in your bones. Jack White. Jack White burst onto the scene with a gritty garage rock vibe that felt like a lightning strike, wild hair, sharp riffs, and a raw energy that shook the music world. From the White Stripes to his solo work, he's always been a master of reinvention. Today, Jack's still pushing boundaries, blending old-school blues with modern rock, proving that real talent only gets better with time and a little bit of chaos. Rock may age, but legends never fade. Keep the music loud, the memories alive, and the spirit forever wild. If these stories moved you, smash like and hit subscribe to honor these legends, and drop a comment with the next legend you'd like us to spotlight. We've got more music-packed content coming your way, so stay tuned, stay awesome, and keep the rock spirit alive. Thanks for watching.